I was interested in photographing in the Northwest. I grew up in the Northwest, and what I've been interested in trying to portray is how I see the relationship changing between the sort of industries that have been the bedrock of the region, at least the natural resource derived industries, so timber industry, the salmon fishery, hydropower, and how these industries had sort of harnessed the natural resources of the region in order to benefit communities, in order to benefit the economy. And in doing so, they built up these communities, but they had an impact, obviously, on both the environment and on the communities. And that's changing now. So the region is adjusting to a period of those industries and those natural resources in decline. So I worked on this project for ultimately 4 years, and during that time it became clear to me that I wanted to photograph within a number of mills and try and describe what was happening in the mills as well. And what was interesting to me is that this mill had been closed, and the local community had decided we're going to try and find a new owner or find somebody to lease the mill and keep it running. And they did, and now the mill provides a source of employment for a region that has a very high unemployment rate. Obviously, there's beauty to be found in industrial places, and what I was really interested in also trying to make beautiful, interesting images within places that are not necessarily traditionally seen as aesthetically beautiful. I'm working with a large format camera. I see photography as a sort of two-part process where the first part is very sort of it's photographing. I think of I photograph with my heart. I photograph in an instinctual, very emotive, rapid way. And then the second part of the photographic process for me is then a sort of more mental one, a sort of mental exercise where you're trying to analyze or think about sequencing, editing, and the sort of intellectual challenge that provides. How is your story going to be told through a certain number of images? Which are the key images that you want to include? I was very conscious of trying to keep a tonal palette, and a mood that carries throughout not just the mill images, but throughout the entire series of images. What we're seeing in this picture are thousands and thousands of tiny 2-inch high, at this point, western larch seedlings. And ultimately, they're taken from the greenhouse, planted out in fields like tulips. What's important to note is that it's all the same type of tree. There's only a small percentage, I think over 90% of the old growth forest has been logged in Washington State, Oregon, and California. This is the Elwha River Dam, and the Elwha River used to be one of the richest river ecosystems in the United States. And they cut off all of that ecosystem from the fish. So what now is happening after many, many decades of challenge to that are that the U.S. federal government, in a collaboration with fishermen, Native American tribal organizations, and environmental organizations, is planning to remove this dam and another dam that's further upstream. And it's a massive project. Obviously, millions and millions of dollars are going to be spent, but it will change this region. And it is a good example, in my opinion, of an attempt to remediate that a sort of an environmental issue that we've created.